So I have worked in the household of Lazarus and his family for a very long time. They treat their servants really, really well. You feel almost like you're part of the family, but you know you're not. It's kind of that upstairs, downstairs reality. And I've come to appreciate Lazarus and Mary and Martha. They do a great deal for their community as well. They're very civically minded. And so everyone else loves them as well. Not just those of us who work there, but those of us who live in the community. They're also known as great hosts. And so when visitors come through town, they often end up staying with us, eating at our table, joining us for whatever gathering is happening there. It's not surprising that Jesus would have found this to be a comfortable place. Jesus who traveled all over the place, Jesus whose word was getting out there, Jesus whose reality was becoming more and more popular. Jesus would find this sort of a respite spot. It's a place where he could kind of be himself as opposed to out there where he had to be on all the time. People need those places. So whenever Jesus was going to Jerusalem or coming anywhere near Bethany, he always seemed to stop in. He liked to eat and enjoyed the company of Mary, Martha, and her brother Lazarus. So when Lazarus got sick, really, really sick, it did not surprise us that Mary and Martha sent word to get Jesus to come. Even though they had never taken advantage of their friendship with Jesus, even though they had never sort of assumed that Jesus would do something for them, they felt that at least they could take time now to utilize his healing skills, skills he'd used on many, many other people, to serve them as well. And so another servant went off, ran as far as he could to find Jesus. We knew Lazarus was really sick, and we were hoping that Jesus would make it. But by the time Jesus came, it was too late. In fact, it was really, really late. I mean, Lazarus had been dead 4 days when Jesus showed up. We were all really worried that Jesus wouldn't even make it for the after celebrations, for sitting Shiva with the family. That wasn't going to happen. Mary and Martha were really disturbed. They kept watching, kept waiting for Jesus. And finally, he did come. And what we learned later was that not only did Jesus not come right away, he held back. That really startled us, because we knew how much Jesus loved these three. Why would he wait? Why would he hang out? What would he do? When he came, Mary and Martha were a little concerned about that, and Martha ran out to meet Jesus, and she just gave him hell. She just let into him. If you'd been here, my brother wouldn't be dead. We need him around here. Jesus started yammering something about the resurrection. We all know about the resurrection. Someday, when all of us die, God will come back, and we'll all come back from the grave. We know all that stuff, but we wanted Lazarus now, not tomorrow, not somewhere down the road. Get us Lazarus today. And Jesus kept saying, just relax. I am the resurrection and the life. We didn't quite know what that meant, but okay, so he said that. So he said a lot of stuff that we didn't always understand. And finally, Martha had it with him, Mary had it with him, and Jesus said, okay, show me the tomb. Well, we thought he was just going to look, pay his respects, go to the grave, make his homages to Lazarus, say the nice things, and then kind of be off on his own. But he got to the tomb, and he told the sisters to roll away the stone. Now this is really weird, because it's been 4 days, and we know that it's going to be a bad smell coming out of there. It's going to stink. It's been 4 days. But Jesus says, trust me on this. And so they did, and they rolled the stone back, and we could smell it, but Jesus doesn't worry about the smell. He starts praying to God, saying all these mumble-jumble words he says, and then he yells, Lazarus, come out! Oh, we thought, if you're dead, you got to get woken up somehow. And then he did. Lazarus just kind of came out, wrapped up in all the bandages we used to sort of put him in his grave, and he didn't look great, but he wasn't dead anymore. He wasn't dead. It was amazing to us. We just couldn't believe it. Now that turned out to be a great moment for Jesus, but it also turned out to be sort of the tipping point. We knew that there were people in the background who weren't really excited about Jesus. We knew that there were leaders who didn't want Jesus to be as popular. They were trying to find some way to get rid of him. And this apparently was the moment. For it wasn't more than like 2 weeks that they had hauled Jesus off. They had put him on trial. They had condemned him to death. And word came up to us in Bethany, not far from where Jesus died, that he was gone. We thought, Bummer. We thought he was the resurrection and the life. And then even better news came. A couple days later, people started talking about the fact that Jesus wasn't dead. That Jesus too had come back to life. Kind of like Lazarus, but not really. Suddenly we realized that Jesus was not just the one who could bring resurrection life to other people, but Jesus was indeed the fulfillment of the resurrection and the life for Lazarus and for us. Ezekiel had talked about dry bones and dead bones and all of that, but we had seen it in person. And when we trust Jesus, when we learn to trust this one, we experience new life in Christ, now and beyond the grave. I'm glad I was there to see all that and to share it with you.